Spielberg's Disclosure Day. I saw a Jonathan Pajot video about it where he is arguing that this is the last great boomer propaganda movie. His idea was essentially that this is anti-faith, it's anti-Christian, and it's a typical Hollywood attack on the edifice of faith.
I feel like they have a point with Hollywood mostly taking it too far. I did not see this movie at all as like anti-Christian or anti-faith. Maybe you had one or two references maximum towards like, oh, you know, if aliens come down to Earth, will people not start believing in aliens instead of God? And honestly, that's not like an unreasonable question to ask. I'm sure that even in real life, if aliens come down, some people might worship the aliens. It's not that unbelievable. If anything, they try to give like Christianity some props in it. Like I remember there was a moment in which one of the main characters, she's an ex-nun, and she asks like, you know, the mother figure in the church, aren't we God's greatest creation? How can there be a creature more advanced than us? And then the nun says to her, we are God's greatest creation on earth. I don't know Christian scripture, I don't know how accurate that is, but that's kind of like, no, aliens can be real, but God can be real as well. You know, that's how I kind of heard that. I didn't necessarily see it as like some anti-Christian, anti-faith movie.
How boomer do you think it was?
It was boomer.
Yeah.
It was boomer, yeah. The central plot of the movie is like this fight between these two intelligence agencies. One is anti-alien disclosure, one is pro-alien disclosure, and the one who's pro-alien disclosure used to work at the other agency, and now they're like, the aliens are our friends, they want to give us technology, we need to have empathy for the aliens. Great gift of the aliens is empathy.
That is insanely boomer.
That is boomer.
That's like boomers making something for a millennial audience.
If you want to look into the innuendos behind all of these things, allow immigration, maybe we can learn so much from these aliens. This is not my culture, it's not my war. I don't really give a about that.
All the Daily Wire does, Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles, because they've lost a huge part of their base because of their position on foreign issues, they just talk about culture war stuff, and that's really deepened the sensitivity around those topics in that particular right-wing echo chamber that they have in the US. And also there's an incentive now to always rehash these, because younger people who are, say, very sensitive on issues like trans rights or immigration, and they're very conservative on it, but they're not with the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro type hijinks on foreign affairs, on APAC. It is natural that every chance you get, you're going to drum up a panic. Do you think that has a role to play in it? Where everyone's like just too touchy about this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like peak culture war. They're trying to find things where they aren't there. I'm sure there's some people who are more well versed in like Christian metaphysics or whatever who can tell me why it's anti-Christian. There was a lot of like occult references, mystical references littered throughout the movie. They're not always the same thing. Technically, occult and anti-Christian are mutually exclusive.
Yeah. So for example, someone who's more Gnostic leaning would look into that and say that, oh, there is an exploration of faith present in this movie.